What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning back into TalkShow²² with Nate Buss. This is Take⁴ presented by A² Sneakers. Go shop with him. He's got the best shoes, Jordan, Supreme, all that. All right, let's get into it. I got two awesome guests today on the show. These guys have been instrumental and influential in my athletic career, as far as training-wise and progression, and being great mentors for me. So I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves. Paul Zweifel.
Zach Zweifel.
So you guys obviously own Total Athlete Performance, strength and conditioning, sports performance kind of stuff. But first I want to kind of get into you guys, growing up, kind of your backstory of how you got to where you are today, because you guys are both two guys that I, respect and obviously admire. So obviously being brothers, back in the day, you guys obviously played some sports. Growing up, were you guys into every sport or kind of?
Yeah. It started with soccer, played everything in the backyard, whatever you can think of. We're competitive as it gets, and look for any sort of, athletic, whatever it is, that's how we grew up.
Yeah, started with soccer as well. Paul was hockey, predominantly hockey, but played football growing up, played baseball. Both of us played baseball growing up. I played basketball instead of hockey, but I played football as well. But kind of what Paul said is I'm talking every day out in the backyard competing. It didn't even have to be a sport. We'd make something up the day of, and we were constantly competing. So athletics, like literally athletics, anything athletic or competition based, that's exactly how we grew up.
Yeah. So you said you guys kind of played all sports growing up, but then as you got older, obviously you took on hockey and, right, you just stayed with hockey?
Yeah, I played hockey and baseball. Those were the two main. Football had to take the back seat because when you get into a sport, these days you start to get pushed to be a full year-round athlete in that sport. So when you make the travel teams and you're playing fall, winter, spring, it's pretty hard to take on three sports. So, you come to that point in your life, 15, 16, you got to make a decision on what sports you want to play. I did hockey and baseball, and this guy did three sports, and
So I did baseball as well, and then I hooped instead of playing hockey, and then kind of football is actually really awkward and random because football was taking the back seat like in my younger ages, and then like honestly around junior, senior year, it was kind of one of the sports that I was excelling in. So I ended up taking a scholarship to play football at University of Minnesota Duluth, played there for 4 years, and then coached for a year. So football actually grew on me a lot more, like sophomore, junior, senior. Yeah. Otherwise, it was I was really interested in basketball, really interested in baseball. High school, kind of football shot into my mind of like, holy crap, I could really be successful in this. So.
So just kind of briefly here, talk about your high school career with hockey.
Yeah, so hockey, I didn't play my freshman year because I was still playing AAA for the Capitals. Decided to start playing high school sophomore year, tried to get, with my best friends that were still playing high school hockey. This is when Team Wisconsin started getting big, so you can still play AAA hockey in the summer. And then, travel baseball with some travel teams. As I got through my senior year, I had a couple offers to play junior hockey. I didn't really want to do that. I instead, I knew what the grind was for hockey. I had friends that have done it. I knew I wasn't going to make a living in it, so I chose to go to school. I tried to walk on at UW-Milwaukee for the baseball team, and that didn't work out, but, just went to school for kinesiology. Knew I wanted to work with athletes, and that's where it took me here.
So then you went to UWM, and what your degree was what?
Kinesiology. So yeah, it's like exercise, human movement science.
Were you there for 4 years or 5?
5 years.
Yeah. And then what about you? What degree?
Same thing, exercise science. So kinesiology is just it's a fancy term, scientific term for kind of movement of the body, the science of the body. So ours is essentially the same thing. It was just called exercise science.
Okay. So then both graduated college around the same time, kind of. What did you guys both do your first year out of? I know you said you coached, but what did you do your first year after college?
First year, so I had a job in Milwaukee at a fitness center. It's called Shorewood Community Fitness Center. Just general population. So I had an opportunity to become the manager there in Milwaukee. Madison's home. I wanted to come home, so I took a job at a facility in Madison, and I ended up staying there for 3 years, and learned and molded the way that I think about things. Just a good first foot in the door, and from there, just everything has evolved.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And then
and so for me, it was that awkward year of I was done playing football. My scholarship was over with. So I played as a true freshman. So in order to keep some of the money, I coached for that year.
Yeah.
And then while Paul, it was just weird. Obviously 3 years older, so we had that year where he was in Milwaukee, and then he started coming back here, and we kind of started formulating a mindset of we wanted to be together. So I had my year of coaching, and I had that same intuition of I want to come back to Madison. And so came back to Madison, got a couple jobs at a couple different gyms, and one of them was where Paul was the facility manager at. So started coaching there just part-time. We kind of took on a big load at that place together, and same thing, kind of started to mold our different ideas and how we wanted to train athletes, how we thought they should be trained, programming, all that type of stuff. And then that's when.
So that leads you guys now to obviously being the owners of Total Athlete Performance. I've trained with you guys for a while now, even back at your guys' first job. You guys were really pushing me. So that idea of kind of starting this gym together, when did that fully start?
I got a phone call, and it was from an intern that I had. Never forget it. Never forget her. Give her a lot of credit. We're still in touch. She had an opportunity at a facility as a coach, and that facility was looking to have a gym inside of it. So the owner of that facility, Greg Reinhardt, gave us a call, and me and Zach were living on our parents' couch, and I got a phone call, and he's like, "Hey, is this something that you want to do?"
You're serious about it?
And I was like, he's like, "Come on in, let's have a meeting." And so Zach and I went into his office, started these ideas. He had this facility in the process of being built, so we came to the facility before there was any structure. It was just flat ground, and he's like, "This is where it's going to be."
That's awesome.
And then a year later, boom, started. And
so it's probably about a year of having meetings, talking about, obviously the design of the place, all that stuff, but then as well as, how are we going to design the packages, how are we going to get people in the door, the marketing, all that stuff. It was probably about a year process before we were even opening the doors. So we were, we were ready when the doors opened. Hey, here's our plan. This is us. This is who we are. This is how everything's going to run. A lot of office time in that 1 year, but pretty excited to be where we're at right now.
So obviously you guys, doing your intern work and stuff, that's kind of my next step as far as where I want to get in my field. So did that kind of doing that, not dirty work, but at the bottom kind of the industry, did that kind of teach you guys the most about, what led you to where you are now, which is owning your own gym? Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at that point in my career, I would have done anything. I wasn't even looking for money. I was just trying to get experience. And you can tell, at that age when someone just gets done with college, how motivated and how driven they are. If you tell me to be at the gym for 4 hours, well, I'm probably going to be there for 5 or 6 and just trying to soak everything up, take care of the place, show that you really, really are passionate about it at that point. And if you do that kind of stuff early on, it's gonna get noticed. And that's the kind of people that need to be in this field, is people that want to be there, people that want to experiment, people that are just hungry for more. So that was a really big piece. You learn the grind. I remember being on my feet for 5 hours as an intern, and I would go home and I'd be like, "Oh my God, my back is killing me." I've never been on my feet for 5 hours straight, running around, demonstrating stuff. And I was like, "Wow, is this really what it is?" So you start to really mold your idea of what this profession is early on, and obviously it changes as you go. But those beginning stages, man, you got to have people around you, and you got to be driven. So that was a really important part.
I think one of the biggest things I'm not speaking for every occupation, whatever it is, but I think one of the biggest things is getting your foot in the door, and then when you get your foot in the door, like applying yourself as much as you possibly can. You know, Paul talked about the little things of just like taking care of the gym, you know, the organization of everything, but also like picking people's brains.
Yeah.
Right. You're in the same. You're now in the same facility, in the same doors as some of the smartest people in the area. Ask questions. Ask why they're doing these things, and kind of wrap your mind around it. And that's kind of how we started. Is, you know, when I started training, I was at 3 different places, and I'm asking questions and all this. You start to formulate your own ideas. You start to formulate your own brand, and you know that's something that we have now. We have 2 great trainers on our staff. We want them to ask us questions and formulate their own thoughts and processes and everything like that. So if we're ever out the door, we trust them with what we've taught them, what they've learned from us, but also like we trust them to allow them to put their own twist on things and stuff like that. So walking into a door and being an intern, it's just soak up as much information as you can and get multiple. Because then you can start to formulate, okay, I really like this about this position, this job. You start to formulate your own identity, really, within the whole grand scheme of things.
That's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a role reversal too, because you were once the intern. You know, you wanted to, you know, kind of be not the boss, but you know, have your own ideas out there. So that's awesome. So now you got TAP, you got 2 locations, right? Yep. Kind of talk about, you know, the brand as a whole, kind of what you guys, you know, strive for.
Yeah. So in the beginning, like year 1, we had, you know, people didn't know who we were. So we had parents coming in like, how do you do things? What do you do? You know, and obviously our philosophies and everything have evolved, and they evolve every year. But, you know, year 1, the goal was for us, I mean, we train teams. We get in front of large groups, and that has been a big piece for us, is getting in front of as many people as we can, offering a good product, and from there, getting the individuals that are really serious about it, right? Those are the kind of people that we want to work with and have evolved into being able to work with, right? People like you, college athletes, high-end high school athletes, young athletes that have dreams. And so those are the type of people that we do like to work with. Obviously, we're here for everybody, but you know, that's how we started this, and it's definitely grown. We started in Windsor with our main location, 6,500 square feet. It's a really awesome space. We got 25 yards of turf. The place has evolved. We've added 4 squat racks. We got 8 total squat racks now. And then we, 3 years ago, Joel Marshall at the Verona Ice Rink, he was one of my hockey coaches. He reached out to me and he was like, hey, I got this small little room out here. Do you think you could use it? And I was like, Verona's where I started.
Yes, sir.
Verona is slowly becoming my second home. And, you know, just that has been very special for us to have someone like that to put us on the map. Joel is one of the best coaches, state champs this year. You know, so just being out there is awesome. Being on the west side in Verona, being on the east side out here in Windsor is, it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think one thing that, you know, we created when we started TAP and our philosophy of, like you said, it's forever evolving, but the one thing is, you know, Paul talked about getting those serious athletes from those teams. We wanted to pretty much elaborate that, like on that fact to all the people that step in our doors. I don't want you to come in and be a part of a group session where you're paying us certain X amount of money to come Tuesday, Thursday, whatever, and it's a group training session, and then I only see you once or twice. You know, it's like a back door to babysitting. Like, oh, hey, we don't have a babysitter. Let's just go throw them to that gym so they can work out and spend 3 hours at the gym, and we're taking care of them. The kid's not serious. You know what I mean? So we really, really want those driven athletes, those youth, even youth. You can tell the kids that really want it, and kids that are just there because they're there. We want those kids that are driven, and it's a very serious product when you walk through the door. You're getting your own sheet, you're getting your own program, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4 days a week, whether it's, you know, you're ready to prolong this until you're done with us at the college level. That's the product that we want to deliver. So it's very knowledge based in there, and you have to want it because you want to learn, and then from there it goes longevity of your life. You know, if I wrote you a program right now, you've seen all your college programs lately. If I wrote you a program right now, you would know what to do, right? So you could do that for the rest of your life. And so it's really a learning experience when you come in those doors, not just, oh, hey, I'm going to do my work.